If you're not familiar with the VA IRRRL or the VA Streamline Refinance Loan, then this video will probably save you tens of thousands of dollars on your home. The VA Interest Rate Reduction Refinance Loan, or the IRRRL, is an incredible benefit for service members that, when harnessed, can save you tens of thousands of dollars with almost no effort. Also known as the VA Streamline Refinance, the lending approval process for the VA IRRRLs is simplified so much. An IRRRL doesn't always require a VA appraisal to go through the typical VA lender underwriting process, which saves you, the homeowner, an immense amount of paperwork, fees, and time. A VA IRRRL is used to refinance your current VA loan into another. It is a tool to improve your old VA loan by lowering your interest rate, your payments, or both. Now, you can use the VA IRRRL to move from an adjustable rate loan to a fixed rate loan, which can also be extremely beneficial, especially if you got it at a low rate and you can lock that in fixed. So the IRRRL is literally a refinance option that veterans have to save themselves money, and with very little effort. Now, can you imagine calling the bank and saying, "Hey, I have an auto loan with you and I'm paying 10% interest. Can you just let me refinance and lower it to 4%, please? Pretty please? Cherry on top?" Fat chance that you will ever convince a bank to do this. Now, you would have to go through another lender and absorb the loan, or do this or do that, and it's not impossible, but it's not the most convenient thing in the world either. However, the VA IRRRL is literally that. You can refinance to a lower interest rate through the same lender, and the process is even simpler than when you originally applied. So I love this loan, and I cannot recommend it enough, especially while interest rates are extremely low. I've seen several friends and helped several friends through my lender lower their rate, lower their payments on multiple homes, and it's simple. So look, in the mid-2020s, interest rates are low. So if you're watching this, freaking do it. Now, if you can use the IRRRL to lock in a 30-year fixed rate mortgage under 3% interest, you absolutely should. You could also lower your term from 30-year to 15-year mortgage, leave your payment the same, whatever. You can tweak the term length and other factors with your lender to ensure that you're saving the most amount of money over the course of your loan. And then you want to lock in the terms that best suit your specific situation. You don't even need a new certificate of eligibility to use this product. Now, I'm telling you, this is as simple as it comes for mortgages to save you money. The best part is you can't even use it if it's not going to save you money. So, ta-da! Too long, didn't read. Boo, boo! Some of the biggest benefits for using the IRRRL over another loan are that there's limited paperwork requirements. The IRRRL rates are competitively low, and there's low or no closing costs. Any closing costs can be rolled into the loan, which means that you have no out-of-pocket expenses, or may have no out-of-pocket expenses, and you still get to enjoy your newly reduced mortgage payments. You may be able to refinance even if you don't have any equity in the home. Appraisals are not typically required. There's no credit, income, or employment verification. Yes, I said no credit or employment or income verification required at all, which is awesome. So, how long after purchasing a home can you use the IRRRL? All right, so it requires a seasoning period of 210 days from the date of the first payment, or 6 monthly payment, the 6th monthly payment, whichever is longer, before an existing VA loan becomes eligible for the IRRRL. Now, I know that sounds like a bummer, but why can't I use it sooner? I got it, but this law came around due to the fact that there were predatory lenders soliciting veterans to refinance their home loans all the time, right? Some lenders were so happy to execute IRRRLs because of their simple nature that they would talk to previous clients about refinancing frequently, like 2 months, hey, you should do this, hey, you should do this, which opened the door to what they call churning, where lenders essentially convince borrowers to refinance so that they can earn a commission or origination fee. And they just kind of keep pushing that 30-year rate out, knowing that they're making money and the veteran thinks anyway, not a good deal, right? So the 210 days is to save you. What are some of the qualification requirements? Now, this is actually pretty decent. So obviously there are some requirements in order for you to qualify for the IRRRL. You can't just take out a loan, not make any payments, be a turd in general, and then qualify for a loan. That's not how it works. You need to be current on your payments with no more than one late payment in the last year. That's a 30-day late payment. Your new rate or the monthly payment must be lower than the previous loans unless you refinance from an adjustable rate mortgage to a fixed rate mortgage, which is also still beneficial. So it has to be beneficial for you to use it. You must certify that you currently or previously occupied the property, so you have to have lived in it. you must have previously used your VA loan eligibility on the property you want to intend. So you can't VA IRRRL into a home that you didn't use the VA loan. You must not receive any cash from the VA IRRRL process. You can't cash anything out. And if you have a second mortgage on the property, then they need to agree to remain in second position after the IRRRL goes through. So all in all, the qualifications for executing the streamlined refinance, it's set low, like it's a low bar. Basically, if you made your payments and you abided by the VA loan guidelines for the original loan, then you should be able to use this benefit, right? And you can even use this on an investment property. Yes, you saw that and heard that correctly. You can use the IRRRL to lower the cost of your mortgage on a rental property that you no longer live in, which is incredible. That's just an incredible benefit, because most of the time an investment property costs way more than a primary home, right? So this is an incredible benefit, especially to those of us in the military millionaire community with multiple VA loans on properties that we no longer live in. So you can just, which executing a VA streamlined refinance is simple, and it can make your rental property cash flow more each month. So cha-ching, why buy another house when you could just save $300 on refinancing and then buy another house? And there's no income requirement. I know I said this before, but the IRRRL does not require income or credit verification. The Department of Veteran Affairs assumes, I think this is awesome, that since you qualified for the original loan and you have not missed payments, then you should absolutely be able to qualify for a more affordable loan, right? It makes sense. And I love this common sense approach. It's not something you find every day in the military, so it's a breath of fresh air. The biggest benefit to not requiring an income verification is that a veteran who has exited the military, maybe they're now a college student or whatever, and they have a lower income now than they did when they were in the military, can still take advantage of the IRRRL, which is extremely powerful when you consider that your average college student wouldn't qualify for any mortgage, let alone if it was like a San Diego home and now you're living below your means in Missouri or whatever, because of their low debt to income ratio. So this is awesome. Now there's an energy improvement mortgage, which you can actually use. So you can use the energy improvement mortgage in conjunction with the VA IRRRL, so that you can add the cost of some energy efficient upgrades to your home. So this is the only way you can kind of pull cash out, is if you add a little cash to the loan to pay for energy improvements. Not all upgrades qualify for this, but this is a great way to reduce your mortgage payment and potentially lower your energy footprint or utilities bill all at the same time. Now, as with everything in life, the VA IRRRL is just not perfect, right? So there are always a few downsides to loan products, but in my opinion, these are somewhat minimal compared to the vast upside and benefit of using this streamlined refinance. The first one we already touched on is you can't cash out. So unfortunately, you cannot use the VA IRRRL to take any cash out of your property. Now, while that's a downside, there are other options to cash out refinance your VA loan, just not with this particular product. The dreaded funding fee. Here we go again. You will have to pay a funding fee with the IRRRL. Now, provided you don't meet the service-connected disability waiver or other waivers for this fee. And, that's a bummer, but the funding fee for IRRRLs is only 0.5%, and it's wrapped into the mortgage balance. So for every $100,000 you owe on the home, your funding fee will be a measly $500. And to put that in perspective, if you took a loan out at 4% interest over a 30-year mortgage, $500 equates to like an additional $2 a month on your mortgage payment. So given the awesome benefits offered by this loan product, I'm sure you can spare the extra $2 a month for every $100,000 you buy. So on a $1 million note or mortgage, you would have to pay $20 a month. And I guarantee you, by using this process right now, you would save more than $20 a month. So not really that bad. Now I'm going to touch on the direct mail bait and switch, which is less of a downside of the actual mortgage and more of a downside of just crappy, borderline predatory lenders. Because the VA IRRRL is such a simple process for you and the lender, there are people who will try to get you to refinance frequently in order to benefit from the loan. Or they'll send you unsolicited whatever, and they'll tell you about all these great rates that you can get, but if it sounds too good to be true, it just might be, right? So when you receive these direct mailings, letters, postcards, whatever, that have extremely low interest rates advertised, or when someone in my Facebook group decides to tell you, oh, I can get you 2%, like, no. There's a good chance that the numbers really are just too good to be true, like they sound. Lenders know that if they allure to an incredible rate to get you into their pipeline, you will most likely stay, even if you ultimately get quoted a higher rate. Think about it. If you've gone through a whole mess of paperwork over the last 2 weeks, are you really going to want to drop everything with that lender and go work with somebody else? Maybe, but not as fast as you would at the beginning of the process before you were in the pipeline. So if they just advertised a mediocre rate up front. So you want to look at the annual percentage rate as opposed to just the interest rate, because the APR would be higher if they were using discount points. Also, look at, like, is the quote, look at the fine print, like maybe that interest rate is if they were doing like a 10-year mortgage, right? You need a 30-year, like you got to look at those kinds of things. So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB, they gave a warno, right? So consumerfinance.gov, and there's a link I'll put down below, but they give some great advice for navigating these offers. Many of these solicitations appear too good to be true, and sorry. So if there's extremely low interest rates, or if they're advertising thousands of dollars in cash back, which is false, if they say you can skip mortgage payments to save on paying for 1 to 3 months, if there's like no out-of-pocket expenses advertised, no waiting period, don't fall prey to these unsolicited offers. Here's some advice to keep yourself safe. Again, this is from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and they note several red flags that you can look for if you receive such offers. Low rates without unspecific terms. So if an advertised rate does not explicitly state that's for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, you might respond only to find out that the actual rate is for like a 10-year loan or an adjustable rate loan or whatever, and that it assumes that you'll buy discount points or whatever, right? So they're just trying to get you into their funnel. And then they might say saving by skipping payments. So the VA bars lenders from claiming borrowers can use the IRRRL to free up cash because it will give them the option to skip 1 or 2 payments. It's just bad business practice anyway. Escrow refunds. If the CFPB they've received complaints from service members who were told that they would receive a substantial refund from an escrow account, but then they got a lot less after closing. So just keep tabs on that as well. Aggressive sales tactics, as with everything I'm always saying, if it feels like slimy or spammy, some lenders may try to push you into a VA mortgage refinance, and it isn't because it's in your best interest, right? If they're being pushy, it's probably not in your best interest. They're probably worried about their commission. Now, even with a law against predatory VA lending, it's important to understand any loan offer you receive and never rush to make a decision. No matter how great the deal seems, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. So, should you use the VA IRRRL? Ultimately, the answer to this question is the same as any other financial question. It depends. But with that being said, the VA Streamline Refinance is a great product that could absolutely save you tens of thousands of dollars over the course of your loan, if you can lower your interest rate, your payment, your loan term, or maybe just switch from an adjustable rate to a fixed rate mortgage, then I just say go for it. Like, it's going to save you money. Why not? So just be sure that you use a solid lender that has your best interest at heart, and always review the terms thoroughly to ensure that you are getting a deal that is every bit as good as you believe it is. Don't get burnt. Do your homework. And subscribe to the channel so you get more information about awesome benefits. And also, let me know what you thought. I'm releasing all this free VA content because I don't believe that I need to do this all as like an email marketing fund for you guys to get this class on the VA loan. So it's all out there in my VA loan stuff. Go through all of it, and I promise, and go through it in order. You'll understand the VA loan, and you will be equipped to make tons of money through it. So do your homework. Let me know what other questions you got. Have a great freaking day.